John Sally, acquired from Detroit, will jump the opening tap in Orlando. We are set to go. The Magic and Miami Heat, arch rivals, battling it out. And the opening tap goes to Miami, and the Shaquille O'Neal era has begun in the NBA. Brian Shaw feeds Willie Burton. He's guarded by Anderson. Shaw against Skiles. Rice pops out. That's a lot of room. And Miami leads it 3-0 on the opening tap. Glenn Rice buries a three-pointer, and that's how we begin the 92-93 season.
He immediately takes the crowd right out of the game with that three-point basket. He's had a lot of success against the Magic, averaging 30 points a game last season.
And Miami called for an illegal defense. The shot doesn't count. Next time it's a technical foul, of course.
Good look right there at the attention Shaquille O'Neal will be getting down in the low post. You'll see them as the fake is made in low to Shaquille, trying to get the double team on him to prevent him from getting the basketball.
Double teamed, reads it well. 3 seconds. 15 to shoot, plenty of time left here. Willie Burton against Dennis Scott. Dennis had that shot blocked, and Miami will try to run. This is their game plan. They get out in a big hurry.
They will get out on the floor. Glenn Rice has the freedom to put it up from anywhere. Shaquille with that first rebound. That's
something the Magic would like to see him do a better job of early, being more aggressive on the rebounding side of things. And a whistle underneath. Let's see who it's against.
Cycley's going to get the first call against the big man down low, and it's going to be interesting early to see how the officials, you'll see Cycley pushing Shaquille right there. See how they're going to allow Shaquille to play. He got in foul trouble a lot during the preseason.
Under 11 minutes, 3-0 Miami. Skiles looks for the big guy underneath. Spacing for the Magic doesn't look all that good right now. I think a little opening night jitters. Catledge can't finish. O'Neal crashes, fakes, fires, draws the foul, but that won't go. He was pounded on the arm. Let's see who got it. Willie Burton, his first.
You mentioned the spacing, Chip, and until the Magic make some shots from the outside, you're going to see that sagging defense. It almost looks like a zone. You'll see Shaquille following up the offensive board right there. That's something he didn't do much of during the preseason. It's nice to see him aware of going to the basket here early.
That's something he didn't do a lot in the preseason either, and that's make his free throws. Shaq, 28 for 58 now. Buzz Brayman, former Philadelphia assistant coach, is working with O'Neal at the free throw line, and it pays off in 2 quick points. 3-2 our score, 10:40 to play, first quarter. Chip Carey, Jack Gibbons with you on the Sunshine Network in Florida and around the country on TNT tonight. Cycley 8 to shoot. Up high, won't go, got his own rebound. Cycley rejected, but the foul. Shaquille points at himself and says, yeah, I got it.
As I mentioned, I think the officials will.
Oh, they gave it to Skiles.
And of course, that's a nice bonus there for the Magic as Scott Skiles reaches in there. But the officials, I think, will watch very closely to see how Shaquille is going to play. Of course, the officials read the papers like everyone else. They understand they have a big body down there. They're going to make sure Shaquille earns their respect in the early goings here tonight.
Well, for all you Magic fans who wonder about free throw shooting, look at Ronnie Cycley. His first year in the NBA, he shot 51%. Now he's around 75%. So it can be done.
A career 53% free throw shooter. Ronnie Cycley has had to put a lot of time in on the free throw line, extra time, and it has paid off.
The Heat lead at 5-2 here early first quarter. Skiles, wide open jumper.
It's going to be important for Scott Skiles this year to make sure that he allows the offense to come to him. Last year, he tried to carry too much of the load. Of course, he had to with the Magic injuries. He is much better and more effective when he is just a part of the team.
So far, Glenn Rice has gotten an awful lot of breathing room from Nick Anderson, the defensive end of the floor. Nick tries to answer, that one pops out on him. Heat lead it by 3 and run here. Rice, Shaw had it stripped, but gets it back. Baseline jumper, good.
Ryan Shaw.
I thought that was going to pop off the rim and bounce out.
Well, if Shaw can give him some offense from that point guard spot, it's going to make Miami a very, very difficult team to handle.
9:27 left. It's 9-4 Heat. O'Neal posting up. They're going to let him bang a little bit. Double team, throws an elbow, won't go. Catledge crashes the offensive board, but can't come away. Heat on the run. This is their game, as we said before. Cycley against Scott, had it stripped. Now the Magic run a break. 4-on-1. Skiles, Anderson layup.
A nice job. Dennis Scott had to reach in and knock that ball away from Cycli as he took the ball to the hole. Scott Skiles, one of the best in a 3-on-1 situation.
It's 9-6. The Magic have the lead here. Here comes the screen from Cycli. Watch Big Ronnie roll away from it. Instead, Shaw takes the jumper, and the Magic have the rebound. Opening night in Orlando tonight. The Magic and Heat battling here. Dennis Scott for three.
Oh, it's so nice to have him back and have him healthy. Missed all but 18 games last season. No pain at all in that knee and the leg area that kept him out most of last year.
He's been red hot. In the final 4 exhibition games, Dennis averaging almost 20 a game, shooting much better. Rice got open again.
And Rice.
Well, the real challenge for Dennis tonight is going to be on the defensive end of the floor. You can't give Rice that much room.
Well, he can shoot. He can just flat out put the ball in the basket. Under 8 minutes. Burton guards Scott. O'Neal waits for double team. 5 to shoot. Skiles penetrates. Won't score it. They say he was fouled on the floor. Matt Gukas didn't like that call.
Well, Willie Burton with a little push from behind forced Scott Skiles to take one extra step, I thought, but the official right on top of the play. You'll see it right here as Skiles gets him with the pump fake. You can barely see the push coming from behind.
Second foul on Burton, third foul on Miami. 7 minutes, 44 seconds remain in our first quarter. Anderson against Rice. Double team. Good passing.
Real good ball movement that time. The ball's not sticking anywhere.
And a whistle. Catledge, I believe, pushed off.
Foul number 33, Terry Catledge. His first second team foul.
The Magic will have to make that outside shot. Teams have been so concerned about Shaquille, and of course rightfully so. The double teams, the triple teams have been there. They're pretty much forcing the Magic to beat them from the outside so far in the preseason and here tonight also.
Burton all by himself. Cycli unchallenged on that rebound. Shaquille knocked it away from him. He got smacked down there, did Cycli, but no call. Anderson spins. Sally challenged. Shaquille missed the dunk. Now the Magic reset. O'Neal stripped down underneath. All ball. Matt Gukas thought O'Neal got raked.
As I mentioned, the officials are going to allow the physical play down low. Shaquille with the big body, it's obviously going to be a lot of bumping. Matty Gukas not happy at all with this. That is youngster there didn't get the call. Shaquille with the action going to the offensive boards there.
And they called Cycli for a travel. So the Magic get the ball back at 7:07. Boy, this is a real man's game down there.
Shaquille doing a much better job of handling that double team. And that shot by Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott making the jump shot is going to make it much more easy for the Magic to get the ball down low, get Shaquille some open shots.
The Magic 4 out of 11 from the floor. The Heat 4 for 9. Rice underneath. And he gets the late whistle. Dennis Scott, I believe, with a push, draws his first foul, and we have a timeout on the floor. 6:39 left. The Magic up a point when we come back after this here on the Sunshine Network. The Magic have the 1-point lead here. As you look at our early shooting percentages, neither team really lighting it up yet.
Nick Anderson with 2 of those 4 field goals for the Magic. Nick also with 3 rebounds and assists to go, and 1 assist to go along with 5 points.
Glenn Rice at the line. He's had a great preseason. 20 points, 57% from the field, 76% at the stripe, and 36% from 3-point range.
As I mentioned a little while ago, the most difficult challenge for Dennis Scott tonight is seeing how much he can do with Glenn Rice. Of course, Rice looks for his offense every time down, so it's a constant challenge for Dennis.
O'Neal rips down the rebound. Game tied at 12 apiece. Again, they lob it into Shaq. Double team by Sally. And the ball goes off of Shaquille O'Neal's toe. There's that aggressive double team, and that's something O'Neal hasn't seen. It's one thing to see a double team or a triple team college, but when you've got 2 guys 7 feet tall, that's pretty tough to handle.
The Heat have much more success with that double team when it's John Sally coming instead of one of the smaller guys.
Sally against Catledge. He puts it on the floor. Nice no-look dish to Cycli. He hits. Good ball movement by Miami. Cycli has 4 early points, and the Heat regain a 2-point advantage. Lob to O'Neal. Lost it going up.
That's a nice pass from Scott.
Anderson tried to steal it. Burton against Skiles. Lefty layup is good.
He has been the biggest surprise for the Heat this season so far. Willie Burton has worked his way right to the starting lineup after missing the last 5 or 6 ball games last season. After being treated for depression, he's come back and has been a pleasant surprise.
Miami up 4, 5.5 left. No double team this time, or at least it comes late.
3 seconds.
Anderson to try another 3 and hit again.
Well, all those shots from the outside will make it easier for the Magic to get shots for Shaquille later on.
Burton tries a 3 and hits that.
What?
3 for Willie Burton.
Well, we know what these two teams have been working on in the offseason. They're outside 3-point shooting.
I hate to see the Magic relying on their 3-point shot, though, because as the game goes on, and that is especially true here in the early season, you'll see those shots becomes a little bit shorter each time, start to hit the front of the rim.
Magic substitution number 34.
5:01 left. Greg Kite is going to check in for Shaquille O'Neal.
Nick Anderson at the line, shooting 2.
This is an area in Nick's game as well that was a bit of concern last year. He was a 2 out of 3 free throw shooter all season long last year.
And for as much as he gets to the free throw line, that is not nearly enough. If Nick is going to have the all-star type season, he has to get those points from the line. That will push his average up above that 20-point per game mark.
Cycli against Kite. And the righty hook is good. 6 for Ronnie Cycli. He averaged just 12 a game in the preseason and didn't shoot it well at all, only 40%. But he's at 50% for this game.
Some of these veterans, though, have a way of turning it on once the season gets for real.
And Dennis Scott called for a travel. Let me ask you a question, Jack. Do players just go through the motions in the preseason? Or is it a fact that, like you said, when the games really count, you're able to turn it up that much more?
Well, I think during the preseason, you definitely pace yourself. You're going 2-a-days a lot of times, and I think you just have to do that sometime. And then the other thing is you have a lot of guys trying to make the team, a lot of extra players in camp, and it's very difficult to get consistent runs for consistent periods of time.
Magic find themselves down 7 points and an illegal defense. Technical foul against the Heat.
It's that great Kite getting the double team down low. Maybe they forgot Shaquille was on the bench.
So the Magic get a free throw here.
Skiles will shoot the technical.
Well, someone is, I think that's John Sally right in the middle of the lane there, not guarding anyone.
So the Magic get the point. They'll also get the ball. And the Heat have their first technical foul of the season. Congratulations. Miami heads back home after the game tonight. They play New Jersey. Magic will charter up to Washington and play the Bullets tomorrow night.
And the Bullets are playing in Charlotte, so both teams will travel tonight to get back, and Nick Anderson kicks the ball out of bounds.
Tried an isolation play and dribbled it off his foot. 3:46 left. Magic not looking sharp here in the opening quarter.
Usually when Shaquille goes to the bench and Terry Catledge is on the floor, the Magic run a series of plays to give Terry Catledge an opportunity to post up down low. We'll have to see if that happens here the next time down for the Magic.
Cycli odd shot. Willie Burton just blew through the non-existent defense on that play and stuffed it home.
As I mentioned, Burton has been a pleasant surprise so far this season.
The Heat up by 8. Dennis Scott on the floor.
Tough shot.
And the rebound by Burton, and Terry Catledge with a knee to the back is called for the foul. That's his second.
Foul number 33, Terry Catledge.
25-17 Miami.
Magic substitution.
And Donald Royal makes his first appearance in a Magic uniform tonight. He'll replace Dennis Scott.
With Donald in the lineup, the outside shooting is gone as Dennis Scott leaves the floor from that position. But the defense and the rebounding come when Donald Royal enters the game.
Nick Anderson clobbered Willie Burton, I believe.
Well, I don't know if it's Nick or Greg Kite.
Number 34,
Greg Kite.
Willie Burton wanted to set a screen on Kite to allow Cycli to break across the lane to get open. But you don't do that on Kite unless you want a forearm to the chest, and Kite got caught that time.
Willie Burton with 8 first quarter points. Glenn Rice with 10. Nick Anderson with 9 for the Magic.
Tell you, with Steve Smith having undergone that knee surgery and out for another couple of weeks or so, the Heat needed some more offense, needed someone to come on as Burton has. And I tell you, Kevin Locker is just very, very happy.
Well, they ought to be happy with the scoreboard. They're up 10 points, 3 minutes left. 10 to shoot. Double team. Skiles fakes the 3, leans in from 19.
Tough shooting now for the Magic.
5 out of 13, now 5 out of 14 in the opening quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, the real problem for the Magic is that the Heat have quick players at every position. And you saw that right there with Willie Burton at 6'8". He's just able to go up over Nick Anderson.
And the Magic will call a timeout here. 2:26. And let's see, did Brian Shaw get called for a foul?
Yes, I think so.
He did. A foul, and the Magic call timeout. No, they charge it to Miami apparently because of the foul.
Scott Skiles wanted to call a timeout right here, but Brian Shaw wanted to try to get the steal. There's the push right there, and he got him with the knees, so not a real smart play at all. Willie Burton, 6'8" against Nick Anderson at 6'5", and Burton just using his quickness and height right there to take the ball right to the basket. The Heat have outscored the Magic 18-5 over the last 4 minutes.
Scott Skiles at the line, shooting 2.
And you see the difference now with Shaquille on the bench. The double teams are not there. The Magic are not getting the uncontested shots from the outside, and they have struggled from the field over the last 4 minutes.
They're only 5 of 14 for the game. The Heat is sizzling, 11 out of 17 for 65%.
The Heat with quick players, though, at every position. That makes it so tough for the Magic defensively.
2:17 to play in our opening frame. It's Miami by 10. Cycli against Kite, and I believe an offensive foul. Yep. His second.
Offensive foul.
Well, I don't know about that call. I thought Cycli had pretty good position that time. He might have kind of reached around and got Greg with his elbow. Let's see from this angle. Well, it's still very difficult to see. I don't know. It looked to me as though he had pretty good position, but I think Hugh Evans wanting to make sure that that situation does not get out of control. We all remember what happened last year with those two, and both players fined pretty heavily after the scuffle that they had.
2 minutes, less than 2 minutes.
Alec Kessler, number 33, is just checked into the game, and a whistle away from the play.
Foul number 33, Alec Kessler.
Is called on Kessler. That's his first.
Let's take another look at that play on the other end. Cycli might have, there he is with the forearm right there. You see his arm
Nick Anderson at the line,
that time very, very well from that shot. He did get Greg Kite with the forearm as he tried to get position.
Nick misses his second out of 3 free throws.
Well, I really don't like seeing Nick Anderson getting off to this kind of start from the free throw line, because so much of free throw shooting is confidence, and you go out and miss that first one, and it makes it so difficult to make the next one.
Other NBA action tonight. New Jersey leads the 76ers 23-13 in the first quarter. Magic steal away the rebound. Down 10 under 2 minutes. Nick again for 3. Won't go. Royal the rebound. That's been his game in the preseason. And the layup good.
As I said with Donald Royal, you don't get the shooting from the outside, but you can tell right now that he's going to give you the offense, the rebounding on the offensive end.
Terry Catledge tried to give up his body, and Scott Skiles called for the foul. And he is just going to receive a technical foul. His second personal and first technical.
Scott Skiles obviously didn't like the call at all. Might have had a hand in the back of Glenn Rice as he took the ball to the basket. He picks up the technical. I thought maybe Hank Armstrong would give him a delay of game warning for kind of knocking the ball away, but he stuck him with the tee instead.
Number 13,
Chris Corchiani makes his first appearance of the season for Magic. Skiles to the bench.
I think the first thing you'll see with Chris Corchiani coming to the floor is the next offensive possession. There's a little bump right there by Skiles. He didn't like the call, but I think the call might have been proper. Now watch the reaction here. But as I was going to say, the next time the Heat get the ball on offense, look for him to let Shaw post up against Chris Corchiani down low. I don't know if that will happen. We have not seen it yet in this ball game, but I think that's something that the Magic will see a lot when Chris Corchiani enters the game.
A 10-point Miami lead, 31-21. 4 now for Brian Shaw, whom you'll remember came to the Heat last season in that trade for Sherman Douglas, who was sent off to Boston and is rumored to be starting at point guard for the Celtics. 32-21.
That's another illegal defense. John Sally, definitely. He's trying to stay too long to get Shaquille in a double team, but he can't go down there until the pass is made. Now watch John Sally as Shaquille comes along the baseline. He's going to post up, and Sally just stays back there. He doesn't go with Terry Catledge, and that is illegal. The pass had not been made.
Chris Corchiani hit all 31 free throws he took in the exhibition season. It's a good thing.
I thought for sure you were going to jinx him.
No.
But I know what you're going to say.
Because he had all kinds of trouble
yeah.
away from that line. Chris was shooting 17% in the exhibition season. Says he's now starting to look at the rim when he shoots. That might help, Chris.
Well, Chris told me yesterday as they were going through shoot-around, Nick Anderson with the shot from the outside. He came up to me and said, Jack, I've really been working on my outside shooting. He said, I'm starting to look at the front of the rim to try to drop the ball over the front.
O'Neal rejects and Sally kicks it out of bounds. You do it with defense in this league. And as we said in our open, if O'Neal can do that, this ball club will be very much improved.
Well, this is the eraser that the Magic have needed for a long time. Stanley Roberts gave him a little bit of that last season, but Shaquille will get a lot of those.
And a bucket here cuts it to 6 all of a sudden.
But to finish up the story about Chris Corchiani, I asked him after he said that, I said, what had you been looking at? He said, well, I really don't know. I was just putting the ball up. Nick Anderson with the nice drive. I said, well, looking at the rim will help a lot.
Floor is a little slippery, so they'll stop play. Buzz Brayman, who, as we mentioned, has been brought on to help the Magic players with some of their shooting, probably almost fainted when he heard Corchiani say, I wasn't looking at anything. 40 seconds left, 6-point Miami lead. It was 12 a minute and a half ago.
Terry Catledge looks to be in a little bit of pain. I don't know for sure what happened. He's trying to shake something off, but he doesn't want to come out of the game.
Shaw hides around a screen, launches the 3, won't go. That's the kind of rebound the Magic like from O'Neal.
Tell you what, I'm really surprised about that shot. I don't know where that one came from. Plenty of time left on the shot clock, but Miami probably wanted to get 2-1.
Corchiani wrap around the Royal, miss. O'Neal did.
So now they will get the last shot.
But it's only a 4-point game. Sally up tempo. Rice falling away, won't go. O'Neal the rebound. Now the Magic with a final shot chance. O'Neal runs the floor, takes it all the way.
Well, that blew my theory there because the Heat came down and threw up another quick shot.
But Rice with 0.4 of a second scores there.
Boy, what happened there? As
20-second timeout Magic.
Shaquille O'Neal just leveled Glenn Rice as he took the ball to the basket. No whistle was blown. Kevin Locker is having a fit over there on the bench.
Oh, he got mugged. A couple of changes for Miami in the period. Kevin Edwards and Bimbo Coles check in for the Heat. They lead it 34-30, and the Magic have the ball opening up our second quarter. Glad you're with us on the Sunshine Network tonight. We'll be in Washington tomorrow night. Donald Royal on the floor, challenges Sally, didn't get the call. Loose ball underneath. Willie Burton corrals.
I think because it's so much quickness on the floor, it's kind of a difficult game for the officials to call. Been a lot of up and down, and it's not been a well-played game. A lot of sloppy mistakes been made so far, and it's a very difficult game to call.
The Heat played that Magic offensive series very well, but the Magic come up with a loose ball. Anderson with a layup. Matt Kukas thought he was hit.
Well, Matty wanted another call right there.
15 for Nick. Anthony Bowie tears away the sweats. He'll come in a second. Coles challenged, won't go. Turner rips down the rebound. 36-32. We await official word on Terry Catledge's condition. He was holding that lower back.
Well, it's got to be his lower back. Maybe 3 seconds. I don't know.
3 second violation. Miami ball.
Miami gets the basketball. Anthony Bowie in for Nick Anderson. And folks, Nick Anderson 6 out of 9 in the first 13 minutes of this game.
But you can bet Nick's going to sit on that bench and think about his free throw shooting. He has been terrible from the free throw line so far. Only 1 of 4.
10:50 to play in the first half. Miami with a 4-point lead. It was up to 12 points. But the teams traded big runs at the end of that first quarter. 5 seconds to shoot. And a whistle. Corciani, I believe, the reach. We will see what Hank Armstrong says. That is the call. First foul on Chris.
The backcourt of Bimbo Coles and Kevin Edwards gives the Heat even more quickness in the backcourt. They love to push the ball up and down the floor, and you'll see them just get it and go. They will not wait. They'll try to take advantage of the quickness.
10:35 left. And another foul.
Maybe Donald Royal with the hold as Willie Burton. And I think the officials trying to slow this thing down just a little bit. Maybe they need to catch their breath. They're calling it a little bit tighter now.
Yeah, I think they're saying it's a little too early to be running up and down like this. That's playoff type basketball. 10:28 left. Royal, good defense on
real good
free.
D.
Oh my God. Lowers the shoulder, that's rejected. Corciani saves, but to the wrong team. Behind the back from Sally to Burton. What a play. 13 for Willie Burton. Now you know why he's starting. 10:01 left. Corciani turns the corner, looks for help. Jeff Turner. Anthony Bowie hits his first shot of the year. Alec Kessler left alone.
Look hard. Every shot the Magic make from the outside makes it a little bit easier on Shaquille down low.
Against Sally, draws the contact.
That's just what I'm talking about right there. Terry Catledge will be getting x-rays on that lower back.
His first team
Dennis
foul.
Scott returns.
Magic substitution number 3, Dennis.
Once again, Anthony Bowie makes the shot from the outside. Nick Anderson has done a good job from the outside. Now that Miami defense has to extend itself just a little bit, makes it a little bit more, it makes it a little easier for Shaquille to get the ball down in the low post.
And you might note Donald Royal leaves the game without scoring. However, when he came in, the Magic were down a dozen. When he leaves, the Magic are down 4.
You talked about how it starts with defense, and that is Donald Royal's game, defense and rebounding.
Shaq with 8 rebounds already, 7 points now, and he's hit all 3 free throws.
But that extra work paying off.
That's what I really like about him, is he's a guy that'll stay as long as the coaches want or as long as anybody else wants him to try to improve his game.
Number 13, Chris Corciani.
Well, you like to see the aggressive defense. Corciani doing that well, but you don't want to see the fouls coming in the backcourt.
Third team foul, second personal foul. It's a 2-point Miami game. Burton up top against Dennis Scott. He dares him to shoot the 3, and what have we got? Illegal defense.
They got Jeff Turner, but I did not see it that time. Although Jeff gave that look very quickly after he heard the whistle, so you could tell it must have been against Jeff. Now there goes Kessler, and there's Jeff, right up under the basket, guarding no one.
These two teams are trying to set a record for illegal defense calls in a game as Edwards sheds the defense. Edwards has not been known as much of a percentage shooter for Miami throughout his career, but he can light it up if he gets hot off that bench.
He's a streak shooter. Shot 45% from the field last season. That's a tough shot. Right there, Anthony Bowie under pressure.
8:40 left. Miami by 4. Coles through the defense. One pass too many, perhaps. And it'll go to the Magic. Well, we're glad you're with us tonight on the Sunshine Network.
I love watching Kevin. Boy, there are not many in the league that work the officials as well as he does. Well, that's the shot I'd love to see Chris Corchiani take more of.
Bowie lost it on the way up. Cycling the rejection. Coles feeds Edwards all alone.
That's the quickness that I mentioned in the backcourt with Bimbo Coles and Kevin Edwards on the floor.
When we talked to the Magic at shoot-around today, they had 3 keys to this game. Slow down Glenn Rice, double down on Ronnie Cycli, and try to stop them from running a transition game. And I think the Magic are having trouble in all 3 of those categories.
Yes, they are. And Cycli's going to argue this call, but you'll see him right here. He'll get Shaquille on the arm, definitely. There it is. And that's 3 on Ronnie Cycli.
So we'll see how Kevin Lockery plays it here. Cycli pleads his case, gets no satisfaction, at least not yet.
Well, I'm sure John Sala will come into the game, and I really think Shaquille has a tougher time against Sally than he does against Cycli. Sally with those long arms, blocks a lot of shots, as we all know.
We do?
I do. Now you might not.
Well, I read the notes today.
Yeah, but I've seen him. But I've seen him play for about 3 years now, up close.
The lead remains 6. Rice thought about shooting before he thought about catching, but they have 8 to shoot here. Falling away, won't go. Rebound O'Neal. He's going to put it on the floor again. No look to Bowie.
Is he 7 foot or what? I mean, my goodness. The no look pass.
Shaquille O'Curley Neal.
I like that. See, that's what another thing that Shaquille gives you there, see. There are not many guys from the center position that will push the ball out on the floor, out on the fast break, as Shaquille did and has done a couple times in this game. I mean, that is totally unexpected from a 7-footer.
7:20 left. The foul on Anthony Bowie a moment ago. Edwards again. Talked about him.
Well, see, you do that every time. You talk about Kevin Edwards not being able to shoot the ball, and he lights us up every time.
He's 4 out of 4. Well, you said he was a streak shooter. He's in a hot streak. Dennis Scott with his first basket in the second quarter. Again, the lead hovering around 4 or 6 points. They dare Coles to shoot it, but they go to Rice. Quick turnaround. Jumper won't go. O'Neal, another rebound. That's 10.
10 rebounds already for Shaquille. 8 points. He's been very active. He wanted a breather, but Matty told him, you have to stay on the floor right now. Boy, I love seeing Dennis come off screens like that. What a nice thing to see.
He's got 7. 2-point game. 44-42.
Dennis is going to have to work on his conditioning, and as he gets in better condition, those shots will come even more often.
Coles plays hide and seek with Rice. 5 to shoot. Bimbo from 21.
Oh, that's another nice shot from the outside, and a good use of the screen by Coles.
They got him from Sacramento in a deal for Rory Sparrow a couple of years ago. Bimbo Coles out of Virginia Tech. Dennis again, he's feeling it. He's feeling the floor as he slides, falling away. 5:50 left. Edwards.
Oh.
Rice.
Well, I heard that all the way over here. I don't know who got him. As Edwards took the ball to the basket, but boy, there was a slap.
48-42, 5.5 left in our first half. Corciani.
2 hands in my back.
O'Neal feeds Turner underneath. Oh, won't go.
Nice pass.
Good look, though, to Jeff Turner. And mercifully, for the players' sake, we've got a timeout on the floor. It's been a long time between breaks here. 5:23 left, and we'll be back. And Tom Hastings' favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, no score against the Capitals. At the Cap Center, where we'll be tomorrow night. They'll melt the ice and everything.
Do you think it'll be cold in there tomorrow night?
Well,
boy, it's going to be.
Yeah, I hope they melt the ice, but I kind of think they won't.
I don't think so. But
Coles.
Jeff Turner has to step up on that. Bimbo Coles is too good a shooter. The screen came, no help for Chris Corciani.
Magic again find themselves in a double-digit deficit here. O'Neal against Sally, double team. Magic pass around it. Anderson, open jumper, that's the one the Magic need.
Well, that's the one Jeff Turner has to make.
We are at 2-minute periods.
Hasn't had many opportunities tonight to score, but well, it's nice to see that first one from the outside go down. Travel.
1:54 left. The Heat cough it up for the 8th time tonight. The Magic with 10 turnovers.
The Magic right now must make every possession count. Want to cut into this lead before the halftime gets here.
O'Neal fights through the screens, and an offensive foul is called.
Offensive
Dennis
foul,
Scott.
number 32,
Nope, Shaquille.
O'Neal.
His first, Matt Gukas almost jumped out of his suit.
But Matty wants to make sure Shaquille stays out of foul trouble, and what you might see here is Matty get him out of the game. He has, what, one personal? I thought he had two, so Matty will leave him in there.
10 seconds to shoot. Blocked away by O'Neal, but it was blocked into the goal. Edwards is on fire. 14 points in the quarter.
Well, that's what I tell you about Kevin Edwards. He's such a streak shooter.
Corciani, another wide open shot, and he threw it away. Heat run again. Edwards fouled, can't finish. Dennis Scott with his second.
Well, you'll see Dennis reach in right there, and that's one of the few shots Kevin Edwards has missed here tonight. Well, but another one of those opportunities for Corciani to look towards the basket. Had his defensive player beaten, and in this league, that's just a good shot.
The Heat rebuilding this lead without Ronnie Cycli, without Glenn Rice. Well, he's back in now, is Rice. Edwards now 16 points. 1:05 left. It's a 12-point Heat advantage. The crowd has been quieted. Well, that'll wake him up.
Well, that's nice to see. Long time now that Dennis has been held scoreless.
He has 10, 2 of them from downtown tonight. Boy, the Heat are just passing and cutting with precision. Give them credit. They are outplaying the Magic so far in this game. Under a minute, 63-52. O'Neal against Sally. Can't get it to him. 12 to shoot.
John Sally has 6 assists in this game.
Jeff Turner against Kessler. Sweeping lefty hook.
Well, that's new. We haven't seen that from Jeff much, although Jeff has been taking the ball to the basket more in this preseason.
63-54. Rice sets the screen. And blows by. No help. Fundamentally on defense, the Magic in this game have not looked very sharp. Last shot opportunity here. Anderson against Edwards. Challenges and gets the roll.
But Nick has become the last second guy.
Corciani doesn't shoot. And that's the end of the first half here at the Orlando Arena. Miami 65, the Magic 56. Back to live action here, third quarter, 65-56. Miami with the lead. We've got some other scores to give you. We'll get to them in just a second. O'Neal, no looks to Skiles, cuts through, missed the layup. Loose ball, Cycling. Nick Anderson intercepts that pass. Kicks it around, feeds Scotty, open 18-footer, good.
Now Skiles missed the close in and had to step out a little bit to make that one. Well, the Magic just have to do a better job of making the easy baskets. Struggled with that last season.
11:20 to play third quarter. 7-point Heat game. Rice fakes two men off their feet. Cycling way too hard. Sally, the offensive rebound, knocked it out of bounds, and the Magic get the ball here. See if the Magic go to Nick Anderson, see if he can stay as hot as he was in that second quarter.
I think the Magic would like to take advantage of Shaquille. Jeff Turner with the hold. Good call. Good call. Ronnie Nunn caught him. But another example there of Jeff Turner passing up the opportunity. And of course, if I saw John Sally coming at me with those long arms, I might pass it up also. But Shaquille had excellent rebound position that time, and had he missed, he would have had a good chance for that rebound.
10:48 to play in our third quarter at the Orlando Arena. There's your story. Shaw, save to Cycling against Skiles. Sally feeds Burton, and a foul on O'Neal.
Foul number 32, Shaquille O'Neal.
His second.
Well, it just seems the Magic are just a half step slow getting to loose balls. The Heat seem to be coming up with every one of those, and they've been able to take advantage of most.
O'Neal did block the ball, but you saw the body contact first. That's why the whistle was blown. Willie Burton, 6'8", 217-pounder, Miami's first-round draft pick in 1990, 9th overall. You might remember he was the MVP of the Orlando All-Star Classic as well.
Yeah, his stock really rose during that Classic. I mean, he played well on both ends of the floor, showed a lot of quickness and much better ball handling.
Anderson around the screen. It's cut off nicely by Sally, who helped out. Now they try to isolate Nick and Rice. Anderson cuts, finger rolls beautifully.
He gets up off the floor so quickly, and he just froze Sally.
21 for Anderson. Willie Burton quickly back, threw it right to Jeff Turner.
Well, the Magic have to take advantage of these turnovers.
They're down only 6. Skiles to the hole, rejected by Burton.
Well, Nick
Skiles tumbles hard.
Anderson probably should have had the ball. And that's what the Heat do so well. They come back and take advantage of those opportunities. Just as I mentioned, the Magic need to do that.
Glenn Rice has 17. Anderson brings it up. Heat lead it by 8.
Well, I really like Willie Burton.
And there he is again.
I really like him. I mean, he is just so lively.
Turner, good help defensively, knocked that away. 9:30 left. Boy, he's so quick. You know, for guys 6'8".
Well, you'll see Burton right here, I think it is, will come with the block, come from the weak side, and then he gets a little bit of Scott Skiles also, but that's a good defensive play.
Rice won't go this time, but Burton the rebound and a whistle. Boy, the Magic just giving up the offensive glass.
Well, one thing that I mentioned during the pregame show in my notes, I was hoping the Magic would not get in the habit of standing around waiting for Shaquille to do everything as far as getting the rebounds. And I saw some of that in the preseason, and I've seen it on a couple of occasions here. And then the other thing, I think Shaquille needs to become a better rebounder by screening out and doing the fundamental things.
Sally with an assist to Cycling. 8 points for Ronnie Cycling, who said before the game tonight he doesn't care if Shaquille comes out and scores 50 points. As long as the Heat win, that's what he wants. And he may have just picked up his 4th. Nope, they'll give it to Shaw.
Well, of course, Matty wanted Cycling to pick up the foul, but I think that was the proper call. You'll see the nice feed in from Jeff Turner here. Now watch Shaw. There he is, hit Shaquille across the arm. Cycling with pretty good defense that time.
But the Magic's free throw troubles continue.
Well, Willie Burton is just going after every play. I mean, he loves that starting position. Started most of the early goings for the Heat last season. Nice move.
Won't go. Sally's tap won't go. Skiles tried to strip it from Sally. And what have we got here? Hank Armstrong gives the ball to the Heat. The Magic wanted a foul call. Skiles with a technical already in this game. Keeps his mouth closed here.
Well, let's see what happens. See if Sally grabs him. There's the push right there. Probably should have been a foul.
8:38 left. He'd have the ball and an 8-point advantage here. And they throw it away.
Magic ball.
Poor execution there. The Magic get the ball here.
But what makes it a poor executed play is if the Magic come down and take advantage of it. But yes, it's a turnover, but it really will not be all that significant if the Magic do not score.
O'Neal triple team. In trouble, looks for help. Finds Dennis. Launches for three and hits.
Now that's the way you make the team pay for the mistakes. 13 for Dennis Scott.
And all of a sudden, the lead cut to 5 for Miami. Sally on the floor. Knocked away. Loose ball. Anderson saves, but he's out of bounds, says the official.
And Nick just gives Hugh Evans a smile. But I feel good anytime I see Hugh on the floor. He is one of the better officials in this league. And we'll see from this angle. Well, there he is, right on time.
Excellent call. Shot clock not reset. 8 to shoot. Sally against Turner. Turnaround jumper, no good. Anderson the rebound. Magic can cut it now to a 3-point lead if they score here. Or a 2-point lead if that had gone, but it didn't. Willie Burton. Oh, rejection and a foul. Skiles with a push to the back. And Brian Shaw is holding that left leg. He is slow getting up. Now, since Shaw can't shoot free throws, apparently there was a foul called. The Magic can determine or pick.
Well, the foul was not called on Shaw, though, so that has nothing to do with it. The foul was called as Willie Burton took the ball to the basket. Had the foul been called on Shaw, the Magic would have been able to pick. Burton, though, fouled in the act of shooting.
Terry Catledge with a rib problem. He will not return to this game. And Shaw's ankle status remains to be seen, but it certainly didn't look good.
It did not. I mean, he could not put any weight on it as they carried him off the floor.
Well, Willie Burton was 16. The Heat's lead again 7 at 7:40 of the third quarter. Jack Evans, Chip Carey with you here on the Sunshine Network. Thanks for joining us tonight. O'Neal, low post, turnaround jumper, partially blocked. Sally may have gotten a piece of that.
But I think Sally got a piece of the arm.
And Turner swipes it away at the other end. Now Anderson runs. Look at Bimbo Coles try to catch up. And will they give him the 2 shots?
Yeah, I think Cole's got him. I think they will give him 2. Nope. No, they're not. They're going to give it to him on the side. You'll see the turnover right here. And Coles does reach from behind right there, but definitely in the act of shooting.
$7:18 left. Nick against Glenn Rice.
Off of Nick's knee as Rice plays him very well.
Magic ask for a push to the lower back. They don't get that call either. 7-point Heat lead. Now the Magic try to apply some pressure. Willie Burton. Anderson tried to steal it off his foot again.
And Nick wanted it back that time. Didn't like the fact that he lost it out of bounds. Trying to come up with the steal.
Cross screen, Shark. Stay with you, Shark. Cross screen.
14 seconds to shoot here. Watch out for Glenn Rice. 10 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Turner over the back. With 5 on the shot clock, that hurt. Third foul on Jeff.
Number 31, Jeff Turner.
Matt Gukas over on the sideline is saying to Hugh Evans, we've got to get that call on the other end. If you're going to call it both ways. I know what Matty's saying. Matty's saying also that Nick Anderson had a hand in his lower back when he lost that ball out of bounds the last Magic possession.
Heat by 7 with the ball here. 6:52 to go. Sally works against Turner. Camps out in that lane for a few. And he's finally called for
Finally calls it. Jeff Turner said it at least 3 times before the whistle came. Sally never left the lane.
Yeah, Spider's not wearing his goggles.
No, maybe he's getting a new look now that he's with a different team.
Well, that is so important.
Well, that's another close to illegal defense.
O'Neal's shot wouldn't go. Off Jeff Turner's hands and out of bounds. 6:27 left third quarter. The lead remains 7. Teams are shooting at about equal. 54% for Miami, 52% for the Magic. I'll look at some more out-of-town scores. Boston by 10 over Minnesota. I think the Timberwolves might be the most improved team in the league. New York by just 5. Charlotte by 3. Rice 4-3. Missed it too hard. Anderson cuts off the baseline. Good defense there.
Yes.
And a kickball violation. They'll reset the 24.
Well, and that's another tough break for the Magic. The shot clock getting down to the danger zone. But with the kick, a new 24 seconds will be given to the Magic.
Doubtful for the rest of the game.
And a 20-second timeout called here by Miami.
20-second timeout. Miami.
How much of that do you say as well? It's the early season and all that kind of stuff, but do you worry that you've played 8 exhibition games and then all of a sudden you get a little sticky on the offensive and defensive end for that matter?
Yeah, I would be a little bit concerned, but the Magic, I'm more concerned with the fact that the Magic giving up over 55%, 58% at the half from the field. It's okay if you don't score points if you stop the other team from scoring.
Right. So Magic in the preseason shot 44. Magic's opponents shot 46%. And Glenn Rice, finger to the eye, is called for his second foul.
The fact is, though, the Magic have shown so far in this game that they need improvements on both ends of the floor. And that will come.
5:43 to play in our third quarter. The lead's only 7 points. It feels like it ought to be a lot more than that. O'Neal turns it over. Good play by Burton.
Willie Burton once again. I tell you what, he is just playing all over the floor.
Blows by Anderson and pays the price.
Nick got him first, I think.
Yep. I thought I saw 25 go up.
Yep. His second penalty situation in effect.
Well, there's the arm. Shaquille came over to offer some help. But I tell you what, I've mentioned Willie Burton's name a lot here tonight. And there he is once again. Comes up with the steal, then fills the lane, gets it on the wing, and finds himself on the free throw line.
And finds himself with 17 points. His career high is 28. So he's perhaps on his way to a big night. Seems like always somebody on that Miami team has a huge night against this Magic ball club.
Well, I think the difference right now, as I see it, is Burton's in better shape than most other guys on the floor.
Dennis Scott
nice
scores for the first time in almost 4 minutes for the Magic. That cuts it to 7. Now you need a couple stops here in the final 5 minutes. Maybe a couple misses for the Heat as well.
I tell you what, the only way they're going to miss the shot is if the Magic get out and challenge.
Cycling triple teamed through 2 sets of Magic hands.
See, there's another one of those opportunities I'm talking about. The Magic miss.
4-on-1. Anderson lays it in.
Fortunately, they didn't get hurt by the second shot.
Magic give the Heat a bit of their own medicine running the break there, and that cuts the lead to 5. Nick Anderson, a huge game tonight, 23 points. Sally on the floor, bumps, fires, misses. Burton the rebound, raked, but the Magic get a break and no call. And a whistle.
Now Sally's going to get the call right there. Those long arms, though, I thought he had all ball. Willie Burton thought he got bumped, and he's still down on the other end. I don't think he's hurt. just wanting the officials to see him sitting there, and he's asking them, by not even saying anything, he's asking them, how did I get here if there was not a foul?
Big key in this game has been scoring off the bench. Miami leads in that category 27-12. Edwards with 16 of those points. We'll follow that throughout the rest of our ball game. 5-point game. Boy, a bucket here would be nice. Anderson backs in, fakes, fires, yes. Won't go. But he gets the call. Rice is third.
Well, Nick is, we've seen it a couple times already in the Magic preseason that they go to Nick when they need a basket. And he could be our great Western star of the game the way he is playing, especially if he's able to lead the Magic back and they pull this one out.
Nick 3 out of 4.
I talked about Willie Burton being in excellent condition. Nick, another one of those guys here in the early season that worked hard during the offseason on his body as well as his conditioning, and not doing a good job from the free throw line, but still in very good shape.
Well, we got a 4-point game now with 4 minutes left. We'll see what the Magic can do with this bit of good fortune. They go at Shaquille. Cycling lowers the shoulder. The Magic want to travel, and O'Neal's called for the foul. Boy, he really bangs that shoulder into his offensive man. And O'Neal picks up number 3.
Well, as you get a look at Shaquille, he already has picked up his first double-double. Cycling with that hook right there. Probably should have been called, or could have been called, for the offensive foul. Shaquille with 10 points and 13 rebounds for a double-double.
Cycling 8 points, 6 boards. Alec Kessler in for John Sally.
Replacing John Sally.
We haven't mentioned Grant Long's name, but right. Long very much needed by the Heat and will be needed over the course of this season. He is out in contract discussions.
Oh, the injury to Brian Shaw, too. That makes the return of Steve Smith even more important. He's out at least another month with an arthroscopic procedure performed on his right knee. Grant Long's contract situation continues to be at a crossroads for Miami fans. But if they can get him and Smith back and playing well, he will be in the hunt for a playoff spot again. Anderson throws it away.
Well, he lost control of it as he took the ball along the baseline. Had Rice beaten that time, probably should have taken the ball onto the basket. Saw Jeff Turner over there and wanted to give him a shot along the baseline.
It has been a sloppy game, each team with 16 turnovers already. We still have 15 minutes of hoops left. 75-70, it's a pretty big trip already.
That's an illegal screen.
And the Magic called for the foul. Kessler's moving all over the place.
Foul number 4 to Scott Skiles.
4 fouls on Skiles.
Well, when you start out the game picking up a technical foul, as Scott Skiles did in this game, it's very difficult to get calls to go your way the rest of the time. And there's Skiles gets called for that foul, and you saw him get the forearm to the face that time.
I thought that was a bad call. Here's Kessler.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And he bricks one up there. Alec's brother Chad, you might remember if you follow Georgia basketball, played at UGA.
Well, you can talk to the 10 people listening that might follow. I mean, I like Georgia basketball, but go ahead and make your point.
That's it.
I'm sorry.
So I was going to say he comes from an athletic family, but
well, tell us about his brother Chad.
And Kessler called for the foul.
33, Alec Kessler.
Well, his brother Chad used to date a good friend of mine named Elizabeth Eisenman, who is now living in Washington, D.C., but that's not important.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, so, see, you start to get me going.
Well, what's athletic about that, though?
I don't know.
There's Jerry Reynolds on the bench. I thought Terry Catledge had made his way back out, but I don't know if we'll see Terry tonight.
4-point game. We near 3 minutes. You can't have fun doing this, boy. Trouble. Burton. No, there's the stop. A basket here cuts it to 2. Turner. Oh, passes it up. Anderson in traffic. Feeds O'Neal. The dunk. I don't think they'll count it. 3 seconds. And the Magic called timeout. 3-second call hurts the Magic there. Timeout on the floor, 76-72. The Magic turn it over for the 17th time. And we'll have more basketball after this from Old Milwaukee.
The Shack Bang tonight is.
And a hold underneath. What have we got?
Shaquille with the bump as Cycli tried to make the cut along the baseline. And see, that is what makes it tough for the rookie, because you struggle so much to figure out how the officials are going to call the game. At one time, they would let that play go, and then the next time they're going to call it. So Shaquille, I'm sure, very confused right now. Well, and Cycli almost shot an air ball.
Kevin Edwards in for the Heat. Greg Kite in for the Magic. 4-point game.
Well, it's hard to come back after missing one that badly and make the second one, but he sure did.
It's a 5-point game. The Magic have led once in this ball game, 12-11 at midway through the first quarter. Since then, it's been all Miami. Dennis off the screen. Got it.
Nice use of the screen. He is setting up Willie Burton that time, and he's done the same thing to Glenn Rice when Glenn has been matched up against him.
Edwards fumbled for a moment. Drives baseline. In traffic. Ball on the floor. Still loose. Still loose. Kite comes up, and I think we'll have a jump.
Well, I know what Greg did. He tried to call a timeout, but he never had possession of the basketball clean enough that the officials could give him that.
And let's see who they're going to have jump here. The Magic want Coles and Kite.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Willie Burton. Now Cycli's going to try to step there to the free throw line. Kessler also there. I say Willie Burton because he's just been everywhere on the floor here tonight.
So it's Kite and Kessler to jump here. Everybody's set. And an awful. Well, it's the first game for the officials, too. Give them a break.
Well, this is one of the most difficult things to do, though. I mean, even if it's the last game of the season, it's very difficult to get a good toss-up at times. And the officials will be the first to admit that.
What you're saying is difficult to throw up the ball.
Well, the way this game has been played at times, it wouldn't be tonight.
This is true. Under 2 minutes, big trip here. The Magic down just 3. 8 to shoot. Scott against Cycli. Beats him to the middle. Is fouled, finishes. We can be tied if he hits the free throw. Cycli picks up number 4.
Well, see, the problem with Ronnie Cycli, and one reason why he doesn't get a lot of calls, is because he complains a lot after every call. Now there's the push, the hand in the lower back, and Hugh Evans just waved his hands and said, "Look, Ronnie, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it." And he just waved him off and went the other way. But that's Ronnie's reaction.
Well, he and Scott Skiles very similar in that regard.
Exactly.
They like to talk to the officials, and sometimes it comes back to haunt them. And the Magic's free throw shooting hurts them again. They are down 1. Nearing a minute and a half. Edwards throws that away in traffic. Nick Anderson the steal. 3 on 2. Dennis Scott looks away, finger roll, scored, and the foul. The Magic have the lead and could go up 2.
Well, nice defense, boy. Chip, you mentioned it in the first half, and we've talked about it, how important it is to get good defensive sets. The Magic did that time, came up with the steal, got out on the fast break, and boy, that is something we just didn't see a whole lot of last year. The Magic getting fast break opportunities and scoring on those opportunities.
The Magic have the lead by a deuce, 79-77. First lead since 7 minutes of the first quarter. The crowd's chant tells the story, and Cycli ties the ball game. He's been through wars like this one before. He's got a couple of NBA championship rings. This is nothing new to him. 1:08 to go. Dennis, 16 feet. The Heat look to regain the lead here at 1 minute. No call. Sally took a travel. Under a minute now. Turner front, Sally, and a whistle.
Illegal defense, maybe.
3 seconds.
Oh, they're going to give him 3 seconds. Well, tell you what, the Heat almost got away with one that time because I thought I saw a couple travels and there was no whistle. And Sally has been in there, and still is in there. I thought they would call illegal defense because Scott Skiles was floating down in there.
Anderson got the roll.
A great touch.
26, Magic by 2, 35 seconds to play in the period. And the Magic doing this without O'Neal. Coles hits again. Boy, he's the man without Sean, without Smith. 81-81. 2-second difference on the shot clock. Again, they go to Anderson. Why not? And what have we got? Illegal offense.
Well, it's really not an illegal offense call. It's just a violation, but technically that's what it is. The Magic with 3 players above the free throw line.
On the weak side of the floor.
Actually, they're out above the 3-point line, and that's in the rule book. That's a proper call, and that's what you get.
Yeah, caller, I think last year asked us to define illegal offense. Well, that's it. 3 players on the weak side of the basketball above the free throw line.
I think if you look in the rule book, though, it's not technically called an illegal offense.
Right.
It's just a violation, but when you get right down to it, that's
illegal offense.
what it is.
Yeah. Last shot chance. Edwards for 3. Won't go. Rebound tapped and controlled by Dennis Scott. No horn sounds, and that's the end of our third quarter. Well, the Magic battle back in the third period. They held the Heat to only 16 third quarter points after giving up 34 and 31 in the first 2 periods. 81-81 our score after 3. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. Well, this game, Jack, very important, I think, on a couple of different levels. One, you're playing your closest rival in the league. You want to set the tone perhaps over the next few years in this first matchup. And 2, it's opening night. The Shaquille O'Neal stuff, you want to play well in front of your home fans. You can't afford to lose games at home if you want to make the playoffs.
Exactly right. And then the other thing, the Magic just simply have not had much success against the Heat.
1 on the shot clock. The Magic stopped Miami. The Heat have won 3 straight and 7 of the first 10 games played between these 2 ball clubs.
Right.
Anthony Bowie into the ball game. Anderson playing small forward. That one won't go. Bowie taps the rebound. Taps it again. Out of bounds to the Magic.
Interesting lineup here with Nick Anderson and Anthony Bowie on the floor at the same time. The Magic have gotten very small. Dennis Scott, I guess you would have to call him the power forward here in this with this lineup.
Anderson backs in. Turnaround jumper. Foul score. Well, I'll tell you what, if you've got a fantasy league team, you might want to consider number 25.
And you have him on yours, right?
No.
No, you do not.
I didn't get to pick him. I wish I had, though.
He would have been one of my first picks. There's Nick. And the Magic run this play a lot against the Miami Heat. When Kevin Edwards is matched up against Nick Anderson, Nick is so strong. And he finally makes a free throw. So that's good to see.
29 for Anderson, 37 is his career high. Magic enjoy their largest lead of the night, 3 points with 11 minutes to play in our game.
Keep an eye on Askins. Good shooter from behind the 3-point line. Led in that category with the Heat.
And a terrific defensive player is Kite with the push.
led the Heat in the preseason, I should say, from behind the
Foul
three-point line.
34, Greg Kite. His second first team foul.
Hey, wipe yourself a little.
3-point Magic lead. That's the first team foul against the Magic in the fourth period. Edwards, after that big second quarter, has been quiet. Let's hope he doesn't heat up here. Pardon the pun. Haskins in the lane, won't go. Gets his own tap off Kite's hands, into the hands of Skiles. The Magic run here. Trying to no-look feed to Bowie and turned it over. Not a good play there. Rice fouled. Can he finish? No. Dennis Scott with the push. His third. And Rice to the line.
Skiles knew as soon as he let that one go from his hands that it was not a good pass. He saw Anthony Bowie down there, but Kevin Edwards, the quick hand, stepped in, and you'll see Dennis just brush the body right there to pick up the foul.
Rice had 15 first half points, only 2 so far in the second half. And of Rice's 15 in the first half, 13 came in the first quarter. So the Magic have made the proper adjustments on him, you would imagine.
Well, the thing that we must realize
I know what
is,
you're going to say.
and you know how quickly he can turn on. I mean, he can put the points up on the board very quickly.
Oh, he missed them both. How about that break? Well, the Magic's free throw shooting was not very good in the first half. The Heat's in the second half has been an Achilles heel for them. Nick for 3. Got it. Boy, he is on fire.
What a big, big basket that was.
Magic up 6. And up 6. The Heat in the lane. Edwards can't finish.
Foul number 14,
Anthony Bowie, his second.
Well, I mentioned Nick Anderson had improved this game in a lot of ways, and that outside shooting is one of them. Nick, that was a huge basket.
Nick Anderson, 32 on 13 of 19 shooting. Nick was 13 out of 18 in his last game.
The Magic over the last 11 minutes on a 27-11 run, and that guy you're looking at responsible for a lot of that scoring.
Nick has all 6 of the Magic points, and Edwards finally stops the Heat's bleeding at the free throw line. They had missed 3 straight to open the fourth quarter. 5-point Magic game. Their biggest lead was 6. We're under 10 minutes. Scott against Rice. Kite will set the screen. 10 to shoot.
That's a tough matchup right here for Dennis.
And
he makes it look easy. Got Sally off balance that time. Got him leaning one way. And
Magic playing with a little fire in their bellies here.
Well, Anthony Bowie doing a real good job defensively, and that's another 3-second violation, I thought.
Edwards too strong. Kite's tap out of bounds. Skiles crashes into the scoreboard. They've got those new rolling signs, and every time a player goes near one of those things, you can't help but think of Mark Price 2 years ago in Atlanta when he landed awkwardly on that roller and ended up blowing out his knee.
I still think they might be a little bit safer, though, than the fiberglass ones that used to be used along the sideline.
Sally in the lane, lefty shot won't go. Boy, the Heat have gone ice cold. Anderson against Sally. This is a matchup the Magic like. He'll pull up and hit again. 34 for Nick. 3 away from his NBA career high, and the Heat called timeout. And they have been smacked right between the eyes with a right hand cross. 91-82, the Magic lead. (91-82), the Magic with the 9-point lead. The Heat once led it by 12, but Nick Anderson, folks, what a game in the NBA season opener. He is 3 points away from his career high of 37.
Well, Nick already has surpassed the opening night high for a Magic player.
Cycli was stripped. Excuse me, Jack.
Terry Catledge had 27 points back on the 2nd of November, a couple seasons ago. So Nick already above that.
Skiles called for the reach-in. That was the proper call. Everybody thought the foul was on Greg Kite. And the Magic will bring Chris Corchiani in.
Magic substitution number 13, Chris Corchiani, replacing Scott Skiles.
It's 91-84 now. 12 points for Ronnie Cycling. 8:50 left in this game. Run, clock, run.
A little bit surprised that some of the Magic fans booed the Greg Kite with an offensive foul, and I don't know for sure why he would handle the ball out there on the floor against a double team. Some boos, though, when Chris Corchiani entered the game. He had a tough first period, but my goodness, definitely does not deserve the boos that I heard.
7-point Magic advantage here. The Heat with the ball. They go at Cycling and Kite. Turnaround jumper short.
Great
Rebound,
job.
Greg Kite.
Great job, Greg Kite.
Nick Anderson with the all-time opening night high for a player in points. And Cycling and Kite will jump.
Well, I tell you, Greg Kite, he gets fired up to play against Ronnie Cycling, and I think you'll see the officials make a call very quickly the next time those two guys bump each other down low. Now, there's Greg Kite. That's about as good a defense as you can play. I don't know how you can play Cycling any better than that. But boy, one of the best fights, if you will, that I've ever seen in the NBA came when those two guys got tangled up in the early part of last season. Greg, I think, fined, what, 10,000 or 15,
Yeah,
and
10
Cycling 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was a great fight unless you had to pay the fine. Rice misses. Bowie up high. Out rebounds Sally. I'll tell you what, Jack. We ripped the Magic's defense in the first half. They deserved it, but we got to reward them in the second half. They have really come to play at the
They have played.
end.
Watch an illegal screen here with Greg Kite. Fortunately, it didn't occur.
Anderson slashes. Had it stripped. Will he get the foul call?
Oh, of course he will.
Well, you never know.
He got mugged going to the basket that time. But you're right, Chip. The Magic have picked up the pressure defensively, and you can tell by what's happening on the scoreboard. The Heat with 65 points in the first half. They have but 84 now with 7:44 left in the game. So the Magic doing a much better job defensively.
In case you wondered, Anderson's career high 37 came at Washington on December 2nd. But he continues to hurt himself at the free throw line. That's 3, 4, 5 he's missed.
You add those to his numbers, and
He's looking at 39. It's all concentration.
yes, and I think the one thing that the Magic must protect against right now is letting up, thinking they have this game in control. Still plenty of time to go. And with Rice on the floor, Burton the way he has played, you know they're going to heat up.
Sally against Anderson. Pump fake, stripped by Dennis. Ball on the floor. Still loose. Anderson steals. Watch this, folks.
Boy, I tell you, this guy is the Willie Burton of the Magic, just all over the floor.
You talked about Burton. No points in the period. Rice, no points in the fourth period. A cycler scores. Edwards, 1 point in the fourth period. You shut those guys down, you got a chance to win. Under 7 minutes. The lead is 7 for the Magic.
Well, I thought the Magic would get Nick out and give him just a minute breather here so that they could have him fresh the last 3 or 4 minutes here, but the way he's playing, you hate to see him take him out.
3 to shoot. Bounce past Corchiani for 2. Got it! All of a sudden, the boos turn to cheers.
That's all the fans want. They just want him to put the ball up.
Almost a steal.
Or you have to get Rice. You know he's going to try to make a 3. That's an offensive foul.
Oh, no, they call it on the Magic.
Well, we'll see this replay, and I just, maybe Greg got him before, but you're going to see Cycling just let him have a forearm right to the chest. Let's see, maybe Greg got him first. There's a bump. Yeah, there's the push. Now there's a push off with Cycling also.
Shooting 2.
but Gray got him first. Let's see it again. There's a push. Now watch Cycli right here. And that's a miss. Air ball. He did get the air ball that time. Oh, he came close to getting an air ball the time before. The last trip to the line.
Listen to this place.
Oh, there's just no way you could come back after missing that badly and make a free throw.
Dennis fakes, falls away, won't go, and Sally the rebound. We have lost our stats monitors here courtside. We'll try to keep you up to date. Burton with the foul. Are they calling flagrant?
I think they are.
They are. 2 foul shots in the ball.
Well, it sure looks like Nick was going for the ball that time, but that's the way they're going to call it. Let's see another look here. And the officials are going to try to call this more closely this year, so it's no surprise the players have been explained that this is going to come. And although Maddie is soliciting an explanation right there, it's just something we're going to see more of this season.
The Heat have missed 10 free throws in the second half, 6 of them in this fourth quarter. Now the Heat have the ball here, trailing 95-87. 6:05 left. Burton ran over Anderson, I think.
Well, Nick has just been everywhere. He has been all over the floor. And I like the way he's been active on the defensive end, even more than what I've seen on the offensive end. There's the charge.
95-87. And the Magic will call a timeout here.
And I think that's to get Nick Anderson a break.
There's the story. Listen to the crowd on opening night. We're having some fun, and we'll be back after this. 95-87, the Magic have the lead, and Shaquille O'Neal is back in for the Magic. A lot of the fans courtside have been wondering why he wasn't in. I think the answer very simple. A nice long rest for the final stretch run.
And you had a combination in there that was working so well. I mean, why make the change? Now's the time for Shaquille to come on in here and get it going, but he might not have to if Nick Anderson continues to go as he's going.
That's a new career high for Nick Anderson, 38 points.
Oh, and John Sally is guarding Nick now, trying to get those long arms up to force Nick to have more trouble putting it up, but it's not working.
Cycli lost it, 8 to shoot. Coles for 3, got none. Corciani rebounds. 97-87, biggest Magic lead. 4-3, got none. Shaq taps, regains, has it stripped. Ball on the floor, Magic control. 5:15 left. They look to O'Neal. Cycli knocks it out of bounds, and the Magic have it with 14 to shoot.
Well, I know Nick has to be just a little bit tired. I mean, he is running. I know the Magic called the timeout to get Nick a minute or so on the bench so they would not have to take him out of the game. I'd like to see Shaquille get the ball, though, down low right now. He should have it.
There he is. No double team. Hop step and a 3-second call. By the way, Nick Anderson with a career high 38 now. Needs 3 field goals to equal the Magic's franchise record for most field goals made in a game. And he's 11 shots away from most field goals attempted in a game. Dennis Scott launched 33 shots in one game once. Don't know how many he hit. Less than 5 minutes. Burton stripped. Ball on the floor. Bowie steals that away. Boy, the defense in the second half has been the story of this one.
Well, Willie Burton and Anthony Bowie going at it right now. Burton a little upset that Bowie has been able to get a hand on it his last few shots.
Anderson fakes, leads, fires, scores. He's got 40. Here's a trivia question for you. Name the only Magic players to score 40 points in a game.
You want me to name?
Yep.
Terry Catledge, I know, had it
Right.
out at Sacramento once.
Right.
41 points or so.
Right.
And that might be the only one.
Scott Skiles.
Skiles, maybe.
And now Nick Anderson. With 41, the Magic franchise record for points in a game is 49.
49, Catledge had.
100 to 87. Anthony Bowie.
Foul number 14, Anthony Bowie.
Tell you what, the Magic really have been pretty fortunate here in this game with all the reaching and slapping we've seen on the defensive end. As guys have been in the act of shooting normally. And that's not to say the Magic have not played good defense, but normally you see that called fouls more often, but it hasn't happened here tonight. Boy, and the Heat's still struggling from the free throw line.
You know what else I think both teams are fortunate in is all the whining that's gone on with the officiating.
Now, there's been a lot of fouls called in this game. Been a lot of fouls called. But that was the trend established in the preseason. The foul calls were up a whole lot over the course of the preseason. A lot of that, though, had to do with all the different combinations, the new guys coming in, the guys trying to make the team, but still a lot of whistles blown.
Risky pass there. Anthony Bowie controls. 4 minutes to play in the game. The Magic might want to run a little clock here. Into O'Neal. Double team.
Travel.
And travel.
Well, that's about as aggressively, though, as Shaquille's taking the ball to the basket. I like to see that, and I'd like to see more of it.
Like the way he rebounded there. Double teamed is O'Neal, and he threw it away. Bimbo Coles. Anderson commits the foul. Bimbo Coles continues to provide problems for the Magic, now with 13, and the fourth foul on Nick.
That's one of the few times here tonight Shaquille's had a difficult time handling the double team. Nick Anderson with the foul. Coles will take the ball up. I talked about Coles' quickness and the fact that he brings that to them at the backup point guard spot. Of course, now that Brian Shaw has gone down with an ankle sprain, he will probably be starting in that position.
Coles with 14. Coles last year started 28 games for Miami at the point. The lead trimmed to 9. 3.5 left.
And he averaged 14 points and about 6 assists in the first 8 games or so as a starter for the Heat last season.
8 to shoot. Skiles turns the corner, fakes, leans, fires and hits.
Good pump fake. Good use of the head that time by Skiles.
Who now has 11. 102-91.
Important minute right here for the Magic.
O'Neal got a lot of ball, but let's see. He's called for the foul. His fifth.
Very important this next minute for the Magic. You know this is the time the Heat will try to make a run. Well, Cycli just lowers that shoulder and goes right at him.
The difference, excuse me, Jack, the difference in the game is 11 points. The Miami Heat have missed 11 free throws in the second half.
Now listen to this crowd, though, as Cycli goes to the line. Makes that one.
Cycli with 15 points. It has been a struggle for him. And O'Neal another rebound.
And I think the Magic right now need to just slow it down. Take their time, use up as much of the shot clock as possible.
That was rebound number 17 for Shaquille O'Neal. That ties a Magic rookie record. Anderson spins, fires, off the glass, won't go. O'Neal's tap is good. If they give him a rebound there, that's a new rookie record of 18 rebounds to go along with 3 blocks.
You have to count an offensive basket off the boards as a rebound, so definitely give him a rebound.
Long rebound off Rice's three-point try. He's challenged, and if O'Neal got him, that's his 6th.
Might go to Nick Anderson. I don't know. Nope. Anthony
Number
Bowie.
14, Anthony Bowie.
Anthony Bowie.
Situation in the back.
Yeah, there's the lean in. Anthony Bowie right there. The good thing about it, though, it's not against Shaquille.
Let me ask you a question. Do you subscribe to the theory that the officials, knowing the fans want to see the superstars play in this game, tend not to call fouls on superstar players, or do you buy that at all?
Well, it happens at times, although I don't know that Shaquille is at that stage yet. But, yeah, it definitely happens at times. I think the officials overall do a very good job. I mean, you know, you have to call what you see, and of course they are up close and they see it differently about every time the whistle blows than the players and the fans. They do a good job.
2:23 left. Rice with 19 points. However, Rice has only 6 points since the first period of this game. And that's off Burton to the Magic. 2:20 left in our ball game. The Magic with a 10-point lead.
They can get under this 2-minute mark with that 10-point lead. I think they'll be in pretty good shape in this game. Boy, what a difference defensively here for the Magic in the second half, though.
The Heat with 65 points after 2 periods. They're under 30 since the half. Skiles fakes the 3. Dennis fakes the 3. Now 5 to shoot. Lob out to Skiles with 4 on the shot clock. Good.
Kevin wanted to charge. Kevin Lockery wanted to charge that time on Dennis Scott. Thought he might have had an argument. 2-point basket there.
Haskins. 1:50 left. 10-point Magic lead. The Heat will try to trap, and they'll try to launch some threes here. Dennis for 3. Got it.
Man, that's one of those shots. Don't take it. Don't take it. Good
Great
shot. Good shot.
A lot of folks who watch you play said that. 27 for Dennis. And O'Neal's fouled out.
Well, not a good way to pick up number 6. And that answers your question about that question you just asked, whether the officials know that the superstar is about to foul out. I don't think they pay any attention to that at all.
And let me tell you something. Shaquille learned something tonight. I hope. He does not have to score points for him to help this ball club.
Right.
If he rebounds and blocks shots, this ball club's going to do just fine. "16 points for Ronnie Cycler. This game has been a 2-part story. The first half, authored, directed, produced, and acted by the Heat. They played great. In the second half, the Magic have played tremendous defensive basketball, and that's why they lead. Nick Anderson with a career-high night of 41 points. Shaquille O'Neal, a new Magic rookie record of 18 rebounds.
Oh, boy. Boy, he is so quick. I mean, he is so quick. Oh, that crossover dribble. Got Haskins leaning one way, came back and got to the basket. Guess who our star of the game is going to be?
Well, I think it ought to be Nick Anderson, and that's who it is. Our star of the game is brought to you by Great Western's family of companies, 38 billion strong. Nick Anderson with 41 points.
Oh, and he's missed, what, 6 free throws?
1, 2, 3, 6. A minute 12 left in this game. The Magic are up 13. Miami will head home and play New Jersey tomorrow night in their home opener. The Magic are in Washington to play the Bullets. That game on the Magic TV network at 7:30, and we hope you'll join us for that. 1:07 left. What an opening night for Magic fans. Burton got free. Don't foul, but the Magic do. It stops the clock.
Yeah, you really don't want to foul. Give up 2 points in that little exchange. It's not really going to matter that much. The thing you don't want to happen is the Heat scoring points with the clock stopped, and that's what happens when you shoot free throws.
Burton at the line, shooting 2.
Magic have been whistled for 35 fouls in this game.
I'll tell you what, I hope the Magic save the second half of this ball game just for the fact that they've been able to stop Glenn Rice. Probably the first time they've been able to do that. I think they need to look at that and dissect it and
It's amazing.
say this is the way you're playing.
Well, we saw Rice in the first quarter. You're up for 13. Thought it was going to be one of those nights. Rice had 2 in the second quarter, 2 in the third, and has 2 in the fourth. That's it. Bowie runs baseline. We're under a minute. The Magic are going to open up the 92-93 season in the Shaquille O'Neal era with a victory. A hard-fought defensive victory tonight. The sellout crowd, the 80th straight in Orlando, rising as one now. Dennis Scott, welcome back, won't go. And the Heat will run the floor here. Almost overlooked is Dennis Scott with 27 points.
Yeah, you're
tonight.
right. You're exactly right.
Burton gets the easy basket, and that's the way the Magic ought to play it. Let them score.
And the Magic don't have to put a shot up here. Just a fraction, about a 1/10 of a second difference.
The Orlando Magic are tied for first in the Atlantic. They have beaten the Heat. It's fun to think of it that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
110-100 is
You have to put it up,
your
I think.
final score. The Heat scored 34 first quarter points. The Heat scored 35 second half points. That tells you about the defensive adjustments made by Matt Gukas and the Magic. Final score tonight, Orlando, behind Nick Anderson's career high effort, beats Miami 110-100.